a 20-year-old college student in Iowa. Let's bring back in Philip Dube, a public defender. Philip, your thoughts on this verdict?
No surprise, Dan. Based on my experience, Friday juries are some of the worst. Also, what I call the donut juries, meaning they bring that pink box early in the morning into the jury room. Whenever I see that pink box and the little grease stains on the bottom, it's always a guilty, and I tell my client, run, you know. But 7 hours is a moral victory, and I give kudos to the defense, and hopefully the Tibbetts family will have some sense of closure and justice for their daughter.
I mean, you could see there on the face of the defendant, Christian Rivera, it was a blank face there. What do you make of this reaction? What do you think? Where does this case go from here?
Well, first of all, I think it's the most emotion I've ever seen out of him during this trial. That's for starters. But where it's going to go is on appeal. They'll probably have counsel appointed. They're going to explore the Miranda and the voluntariness issues surrounding his confession. But I have a feeling all of that may have been effectively waived by him taking the stand. I think a jury or a higher court is going to have a hard time reconciling his testimony with the verdict.
I mean, this was a clear verdict. This took 7 hours plus to get a verdict, but it was clear, it was decisive. The evidence in the case, overwhelming, would you say, Philip?
Oh, it's beyond overwhelming. And quite frankly, I don't even think they needed the confession. You know, they had the car, they have her body, they have her DNA in the back of the car, they have the video of him in the area. Yeah, the confession obviously helped their case, but in truth, they probably didn't even need it.
And we were talking on break. I mean, this really became a flashpoint in the immigration debate, the rhetoric we were hearing during the Trump presidency. But you said this case is really, this was overblown in that sense. Your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. To turn Christian Rivera into the immigration political football, I think is really unfair. I may have said off camera that we have many Americans that are sitting in prison abroad for their crimes. The message, otherwise, if you believe the prior administration, is that if you are an American Caucasian committing a crime here, you should get a mulligan. You should not be prosecuted. We do not expatriate Americans who commit crimes. And to say that that translates to not allowing foreigners into this country, I think is a slap in the face to some of the beautiful cultures that come here that are woven into one fine tapestry that makes us a melting pot of the world of opportunity.
And, you know, let's talk about this. Rivera is an undocumented immigrant here in the U.S. What happens to him? Is he to serve time in an Iowa prison? What's likely to occur here?
Yes, the chances are he's going to get that life without parole sentence. It sounds like the jury not only found him guilty, but found the special allegations true, that it was a lying in wait type murder, and that carries life without parole. So they're not going to just cut him loose and then escort him to the border. He will probably spend the remainder of his natural life in prison here. And if for some reason clemency is ever granted or his sentence is commuted, he would then be deported. But you are not deported in lieu of serving a prison sentence in this country.
How unique is this case? I mean, when you look at cases like this, I mean, is there one that you can remember that has captivated the nation in this way?
Well, the Scott Peterson trial is sort of similar, but not quite. Again, you had a beautiful couple. You had Scott and what was her name? I can't remember the wife's name. Was it Tracy Peterson? Honestly, I don't remember the young lady's name. But then you have her tragically disappearing. He's denying it. And then they find her body washed up in a bay where he happened to be fishing over the Christmas holidays that day.
Yeah, the Lacey Peterson case.
Lacey Peterson, I apologize. So that is similar. And again, you have a beautiful couple. You have a beautiful victim. You have a handsome defendant on trial. And it does captivate the jury, and it does captivate the nation to see what's really going on here. But in the end, it was the evidence. He had a fair trial. He had a fair jury. He had a great judge. He had great counsel. Had a classy prosecutor. The only thing driving a wedge between his freedom and his innocence was the evidence.
Well, let's take a look. Okay, let's go live to a press conference from Iowa. Let's go live.